I really want to thank everybody for joining us today. Good morning to everybody seeing us from your remote place, your home, your office. Thanks for joining on today's Hispanic Heritage Month roundtable discussion. So we're really celebrating the National Hispanic Heritage Month by commemorating the independence of anniversaries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, Belize, Chile, respectively. And so, we really want to talk about Texas and how rooted it is in our Hispanic heritage and how our employees bring their culture to work every day, across the state. And so I thought it was a great way to really celebrate the Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating and honoring the contributions of our Hispanic employees, as well as, how do we have these conversations about Latinas and Latinos working in state parks, as well as, engaging our next generation of stewards to be able to keep our wild places wild and free. And so, I really want to open this up to discussion. I want to open up the question. Let's all start by, telling who we are, what do we do, and how did we get to our current position that we currently have right now. Let's go ahead and start with Christina. You might want to unmute.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Schlegel, and I am a graphic designer within the exhibits shop there at headquarters. And I came into the position maybe about 6 years ago. We had one of our designers actually retire after many, many years of being part of the agency. And I interviewed and I received the position. So that was my journey into TPWD. I used to be a scientific illustrator at the University of Texas before that.
Awesome, awesome. Cesar, would you like to share a little bit of your background?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cesar Mendez. I am the park superintendent for Franklin Mountain State Park in El Paso, Texas. And I've been working for Texas Parks and Wildlife for 14 years already. I'm originally from Chihuahua, Mexico. And how I got this job is basically I was pursuing my doctoral degree at New Mexico State University. And the opportunity arose to apply for Texas Parks and Wildlife jobs. And I was selected for a position in El Paso, Texas, at the McGuffin Home State Historic Site, and then eventually moved my way up to being the manager for Franklin Mountain State Park.
Awesome, awesome. Carolyn, would you like to share a little bit of the background with the rest of the panelists and everybody else watching?
Sure. Good morning. I'm Carolyn Gonzalez. I'm the State Park Staff Services Director. Oversee a group of professionals who help staff our parks and operations with paid and unpaid staff. And I will celebrate 19 years of service with Parks and Wildlife in February of 2021. And I'm proud to say that the group that I supervise, we have a collective 100 years of experience with Texas Parks and Wildlife. So that's how I got here and where I am. And I'd like to say that there are several people in the program who have started their careers in various places with Parks and Wildlife and have ended up here at headquarters. So it's been a great journey for all of us.
Absolutely. I think everybody has started their career in one way or another. And it's really neat to kind of see that. Carlos, would you like to share your background and perspective?
Definitely. So, hi everybody. I'm Carlos Aguirre. I'm here in Texas Outdoor Family. We're a little bubble here in Texas Parks. Originally, my family were from Reynosa, Tamaulipas in Mexico. But what we do in Texas Outdoor Family, we essentially take families out. We work with nonprofits that partner with Texas Parks and Wildlife, and We teach them outdoor skills. We go out and camp for the weekend, and we'll take out the trailer. We bring out all the gear except your food and your clothes. But it's a really fun weekend, really fun time. And I got my start. I've been with the agency for 2 years now, almost 2 years. And before that, I've worked in the outdoor field since 2014. But I got my start because growing up, I felt like I was my best person when I was outdoors and seeing the rangers and stuff. So I wanted to do that. And so I found my way into that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Carlos. Alexis, would you like to share that with the rest of the panelists and the viewers?
Morning, everybody. My name is Alexis Flores. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm also a business management major and a alumni ambassador to Lake Casa State Park. And I am now a maintenance ranger, and I love it. So the thing about the maintenance rangers is you can't be joking when you say you like working outside, because 90% of the job is working outside, and it's fantastic. So the maintenance ranger directly impacts the landscape of the park, and that's awesome. And also, it's a very versatile position. So one day I can be cutting down trees, and the next day I could be saving a baby raccoon that's stuck in a dumpster or something like that. Aside from that, we work with fixing public facilities and interacting with the public. So the way I got here is I heard about Texas Parks and Wildlife and the ambassador program through a student organization at Laredo College, and I took a leap of faith, and I haven't looked back since. I graduated from the ambassador program, and I became the ambassador for Lake Casa State Park. And by doing that, I hosted volunteer events, I gained experience, and I got to meet the wonderful staff that I work with now. And I use that all to my advantage for when I applied for the position as maintenance ranger. I love it.
Thanks, Alexis. I think there's a lot of stories out there, and we can all relate to something like that as well. Awesome job. Clarissa, would you like to share your background and who you are, where you work at?
Hi, good morning. My name is Clarissa Flores, and currently I'm the Assistant Superintendent here at Lake Corpus Christi State Park. I'm also one of the State Park police officers. I've been here at Lake Corpus for 4 years, and I got my start with the department 10 years ago at Mustang Island State Park in Corpus Christi, where I'm from. Prior to that, I worked seasonally all over the U.S. in the national parks. I wear many hats today, and I wore many hats back then. I've worked in the visitor center. I've worked in maintenance. I love my job. I love the variety. I assist the superintendent in directing the staff and the upkeep of the facilities. On any given day, I could be walking the pier, checking fish, talking to people fishing. I could be helping in the office with customer service. I could be giving a program. So I definitely still wear many hats, and that's what I like most about the job as well.
Awesome. Yeah, there's no doubt about all the really neat things that we all get to do as park rangers. No doubt about it. So I guess the last person is me. So I'll talk a little bit about who I am, where I come from, and where I'm at. I'm Edwin Quintero. I'm the park superintendent at Goose Island State Park, and those people that really know me, close friends and coworkers, I'm a first-generation Mexican American, and so growing up in the family ranch, it was always as a kid, I was the oddball. My primas and primos, cousins, they always thought I was a little bit different because I like the outdoors. I like the critters. I like to be, rolling around out there in the wild. But I really grew. When I grew older, it kind of led me down my path to college, to where I really honed in and strengthened my interest in outdoors. And so in college, I majored in biology, which, it has served me well. In the past, I've served in different capacities, working in the biological job assignments. But, I really started my career with Texas Parks and Wildlife just as a lot of folks out there as a maintenance ranger, just like Alexis, you know. And I really got that interest in getting involved with Texas Parks and Wildlife, with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, all these different conservation agencies. And I can definitely relate to a lot of folks out there that got their career started like that. So now I serve as the park superintendent, and I've loved every step of the way. And so the rest is history. So I think it's great. You know, everybody has a little bit of those different ways on how they got started. So awesome. So I guess this really leads me to my next question. And, you know, hopefully Clarissa and Carlos can help me answer one of those and share your perspectives. And so what barriers, if any, did you face in getting to your current position? So for example, family discourage you, lack of job opportunities, lack of experience or education, you know, and how, if you had any of that, how did you overcome these barriers? Clarissa, would you like to?
Yes. You know, I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas, and most of my family still lives down there. I actually did not have any barriers with family anyways, preventing me from, you know, moving away and, you know, getting into my job. I moved all the way to Alaska, New Mexico, West Texas, in different jobs, and they were very encouraging. Starting with Parks and Wildlife, I was a single parent of a young child, and I did have a very strong family support to assist me with childcare and stuff. But working as a park police officer, you know, I had various schedules and hours, so my family was very supportive. You know, the only barriers would have been in my mind, and you know, I definitely, you know, set my goals, and I worked around that, and I made it happen, and you know, all the way up until you know, to where I am today as assistant superintendent.
Awesome, thanks, Lisa.
Yeah, I'll take up next. I think one of the biggest things, and you touched on it a bit, Edwin, was probably education and just knowledge of opportunities and where to start. I also came first generation Mexican American, and so kind of that uncharted territory of trying to figure out how to go to school and everything, and go to university, and feeling kind of alone without a paddle, not knowing where to start. But I think one of the biggest ways that I overcame anything was my father. One of the things that he taught me was just to say yes to as many things and try as many things as possible, even if you don't know if you'll like it, even if you'll think you'll fail, and you'll network and you'll meet people. And I think that's been one of the biggest things for me is networking with people and trying different things just to help me get where I want to go. And regardless of your background, I think if you really put yourself out there and meet people and try things, you'll do that. So for example, I mean, I majored in outdoor recreation, Texas State, but I did so many different things. I used to work for the trail crew with AmeriCorps, which AmeriCorps is a fantastic organization to get involved with. They have different branches for basically anybody. I did art internships. I did marketing internships. I just literally tried everything. I played music with my dad a bit. Even from the smallest things, just trying as many things as possible and volunteering as many places as you can with Texas Parks. Just so many amazing people that, I mean, just like Christina talked about earlier, how she used to do work with UT, scientific illustrations. It's just amazing how vast everybody is in this field, and everybody can help you get somewhere. So does volunteering and meeting all of us. We're all friendly people.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Carlos. Yeah, that's no doubt about it. I think everybody can definitely relate to this question in one way or another. You know, for me growing up, it was really as a first generation American. You know, my parents had really those labor-intensive jobs, and so it was very taboo for us to go out hiking or camping, because that's where they spend most of their time outdoors. So I can definitely relate to this question personally. So yeah, it's amazing how everybody is very similar and we can relate to it. So I guess my next question is to Cesar and Clarissa and Alexis. How do you have any or give any advice to someone wanting to work with Texas State Parks? I know we a lot of times we get people that ask us that question, and so how do you guys deal with that?
Well, I think the first thing is you need to identify what you like to do for your career. Texas Parks and Wildlife offers a wide variety of different professions. Just because in the title says Parks, Wildlife, it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to work with animals and with trees and with nature and plants and all that. We hire engineers, we hire veterinarians, we hire architects, we hire a wide variety, lawyers. I mean, there's so many different opportunities, career opportunities within the agency. So I think the first thing is identify what you want to do with your life. Find what is what you love doing? And then the next step would be like, okay, make sure that when you apply for a position, you're selling yourself. So you basically are gonna put everything that you do. I mean, the people that are interviewing you, the people that are reviewing applications don't know you. So, and if they know you, don't assume that they know you. Put everything, because there's a lot of stuff that sometimes applicants miss in their application that doesn't give them the opportunity to get an interview, or they go to the interview and they don't express all their talents and all their experiences and everything that they have done that can bring to the table for the agency, and then they don't get the jobs. So you want to get a job within the agency, make sure that you're selling yourself very well when you're filling the application and when you're doing the interviews.
Awesome. Thanks, Cesar. Clarissa, I'm sure as a assistant superintendent and park police officer, I'm sure you get a lot of the little Clarissas out there in Texas that might ask you these questions. How do you answer those?
A lot of what Cesar said, for sure. Learn about the job that you want. There's so many different jobs in state parks. Like what Cesar said, they're not all the same. They're not, just because it's Parks and Wildlife doesn't mean, a lot of people think, you're out helping animals in one particular job or another. It could be anybody doing a variety of things. Find out what it is that you want to do, and go check out your local state park and visit with the staff. Ask them what they do and what they did to get there and what kind of skills that they need. And then you'll know what you need to build on to get the kind of job that you're looking for. And just because you don't get or find your dream job, you may enjoy working in another area. You may enjoy the customer service, and from that, you can expand your opportunities and work in other areas and build on that. Also, like Cesar said, don't discount any of your experience. Sell yourself. Have you helped around the house? Cleaning, mowing, fixing stuff at the house, any volunteer opportunities, doing customer service. All of that definitely helps when we're doing our hiring and looking for, the new group of people to work at our state parks. And don't think that you can't do something either. Just because it hasn't been done, or maybe you think you don't fit in. I'm one of just a handful of female state park police officers, and I didn't let that hold me back from joining the agency as a park police officer, because that's what I wanted to do when I first started. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, both Cesar and you, Clarissa, you really highlighted some of the really neat things about the agency. You you don't have to necessarily love the critters and or major in biology. There's a big array of different things that we can be doing for this for Texas Parks and Wildlife. And I think it really paves the way for Alexis to share his perspective, because I'm sure coming from from the college setting to a volunteer setting, and so Alexis, how do you answer these questions? I think you're a perfect role model for those folks that are really wanting to work for Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Thank you. I have a different perspective, as in, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with Texas Parks and Wildlife. I got 3 words: volunteer, volunteer, and volunteer. So do the ambassador program, or find out if your state park has a volunteer group, because through volunteer, not only is it good for your soul, it's also you also gain experience and you also network. So that's my recommendation for everybody. It worked for me, and I'm sure it will work for you as well.
Absolutely. I think you can never give that advice. You can never get tired of giving that advice to people, little kids, junior high kids, and even adults. How can we how can I maximize my opportunity to be able to work for state parks? Absolutely, I completely agree, 100%. Volunteer, get involved, meet your state park, meet the people that work there. There's a variety of things, and everybody wears all these different type of hats. I appreciate y'all's response on that. I guess my other question would be, what is the importance of having diversity in the workplace? Cesar, would you mind sharing your perspective on that?
Absolutely. Just imagine living yourself with other people just like you, like the same like you. I mean, how boring would that be? We need people with different interests. We are wired different, and that's the beauty of diversity. Is like there's so many different things that we can tackle because we're so different. We're equal, but we're so different at the same time. Imagine not having doctors, or not having people that like to do medicine, study medicine. Would be like doom, right? So I wouldn't be able to go that path, because, well, I don't have the talents and I don't have the passion for that, and it's just something that probably I wouldn't like doing. So having diversity, it's so great, because we are able to tackle so many different things and solve so many different problems, because different perspectives, even though we're doing this, some of us are doing the same job, we have different perspectives, and everybody is bringing something different, and we're more successful by having a wider array of solutions when you have a diverse group working together.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. So Kristina, do you have your perspective on that? You're on mute, Kristina.
Sorry. I love what Cesar said. And one thing to keep in mind is Austin, Texas, so just one city, has a 33% population of Latino and Hispanic. All of Texas has such a tremendous rich heritage with Mexico, Central and Latin America. It's part of what makes Texas so amazing. And one of the best things that I've thought about with diversity in the workplace is that you're providing insight to the needs and to the motivations of all of the people who visit state parks. It's not just, hey, I only have, one set of skills, or the agency only has one set of skills. Very much like Cesar was saying, you need the skills and the talents and just all of these experiences to put together, because the people we are serving have such a tremendous, tremendous diversity of background. We need to answer to that. We are here to serve our population. And so we need that represented really well.
Awesome, Christina. I think that was well said. Carolyn, would you like to share your perspective on that as well?
Yes, thank you. So Christina and Cesar did a marvelous job of capturing kind of my thoughts too. So in simplest terms, diversity in the workplace is necessary to have a full perspective, to make good decisions, to let everyone know they're invited to participate in the services we offer. And it's deeper than skin color, as we've discussed. Inclusion's about offering everyone the opportunity to collaborate and innovate. And so we do things better to serve everyone and truly live up to our mission. We owe a debt of gratitude to those on the front lines in our parks, especially recently, for the creativity and the drive to come up with some of the most creative ways that we're able to keep our parks open and safe during this pandemic. And they've continued to do that for us to this day. And it's because we have this open and welcome environment where we share our life experiences and our skills to make things better for our constituents and for our employees as well.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. I couldn't agree more with Cesar and Carolyn and Christina said. Definitely a variety, different perspectives, characteristics, backgrounds. Those are key essential ingredients to help us accomplish our mission, what we're here to do. And so, yeah, I couldn't agree more. So, everybody celebrates the Hispanic Heritage Month in one way or another. We do so by, we really, back home with our kiddos, that we really try to instill and remember, where we come from and where we're going. And so everybody celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month a little bit different. Clarissa, how do you celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, in a non-COVID world in the past, I've celebrated by participating in the downtown Dia de los Muertos festival, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of street foods and people just embracing the culture and dressing up and painting their faces, and that's one thing that I definitely miss right now. My mom, however, she does an altar, leading up to Dia de los Muertos, which if people don't know what that is, it's just basically like a shrine to our loved ones that have passed, and just a way to honor them. And we put pictures of them up and their favorite foods and such. This year, I'm really proud to be celebrating a different way, be participating in this panel, and it kind of get me thinking about our culture and what it means, and the importance of it, and just sharing that with the public. So I'm really proud of that, and hope to participate in this again.
Awesome. Thanks, Clarissa. Yeah, like I mentioned, everybody celebrates it a little bit different, and in one way or another. And so, I guess my next question is for Carlos. Why is Hispanic Heritage Month important to you and your family? I know you mentioned that about you and your father, first generation American. So, why is it important to you guys?
I think it's important to me just because it's a time to celebrate our culture. I mean, we come from a very lively culture. We work hard. We do everything. We have amazing food. Just for funny, sarcastic people. When it comes to work, we work hard, but we can be fun. And I think it's awesome to celebrate that. And it kind of goes into other things you've talked about, because I think aside from this, it's important to celebrate other cultures as well. And surrounding yourself in those different cultures, going back to what Christina said, we want to I think it's amazing that we have this opportunity to change our perspectives by interacting with so many different cultures. I mean, I grew up in a small German town here in Fredericksburg, so the culture there was different as well. So I think it's amazing to change that, to broaden our perspective by getting out and doing things like we've mentioned, especially with Alexis, volunteering. Try to get involved and change those perspectives, because you never know when something's going to change a little portion of your life, a path of your life. I didn't mention before, but I was on a path as an art major when I first started university, and I had a hard time with that. And Kim Sorensen, who's actually, at the beginning of this, she's the moderator of all of this panel. I met her at a conference, and she helped change my path to be on a path of Texas Parks. I didn't know there was a way for me to be at Texas Parks as an outdoor educator. And so just surround yourself with different things, volunteer, and you never know what single person's going to change something. But yeah, going back to before, it's just, I think it's amazing that we get to celebrate our culture and kind of connect with those around us and help, just like this, help talk about how we got to where we are, spread that message.
Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, I absolutely, I couldn't agree more. You know, you never know when you're gonna have those aha moments, or where you make those connections, and you know, we really want to learn everything as much as we can. And so, no, I completely agree.
Edwin, we got a couple of questions from the audience that fit in really well right now.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And any of you can answer this. Michael Valdez asks, all of you have such great stories to tell. Can you please speak to why would we want to work at state parks or public lands as opposed to going and working somewhere else? What keeps you anchored in working at the park system? And then a follow-up question was, what type of preferred degrees do you need for entry level? So I want to throw that out there, and yeah, anyone who wants to jump in on those questions.
Can I answer the first one?
Absolutely, go for it, Cesar.
So I believe that it's, you have to have the passion to work in this place. Because really, I mean, it's not like you're gonna get rich or millionaire here, but it's about doing what you love to do. So that's what keeps me anchored in this place, because I love what I do. I know I'm making a difference, and it's important for me. And I know that it's important for other people, the job that I do. So.
May I add to that?
Absolutely, Christina.
The people, the culture, and the mission are just, they're kind of life-changing in a way. I've had a lot of different jobs, and being able to come to work or to Zoom in with the team that I'm on, and then the agency as a whole, it's amazing. And that, I mean, to speak to Cesar's point, no, you're not going to be a millionaire, and but there's a richness in here. There's something that's really wonderful about taking deep pride in what you do.
Yeah, I think, go ahead, Clarissa, you want to respond to that as well?
Yes. Yeah, I have something to add. For myself, I love that I get to protect, you know, parts of Texas that we can share with the public. Right here, I forgot to tell y'all, I'm actually in front of what we call the castle. It's a Civilian Conservation Corps building, and part of my job is to protect that. And actually, my grandfather, Arturo Flores, was a member of the CCC. So it's really wonderful that, you know, I am helping to protect places that people like him, you know, worked so hard and built all those years ago. And, you know, just to be able to share this with the public. And, you know, we can't make new land. So it's our job to take care of it, and also also to instill that stewardship in the public as well. And I mean, this is my office today. No virtual background, it's a real background. So sorry for the wind noise.
I think you have an amazing office, Clarissa. I might add just a little bit to that. You're right. You know, Cesar hit it right on point. You know, you really have to be passionate about what you do, what we do out here, and so, you know, my passion about it is, you know, really connecting those folks to the resource, and that's where I get those little minor joys throughout the entire time. You know, when you have all the little Clarissas and the little Kristinas of Texas, and they're asking and they're super eager about the outdoors, and we're really connecting those folks to it. That's really our next generation that's going to be helping us preserve what we have here in Texas and you know, elsewhere in the country. And so we really need to be fostering those folks. Carlos, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to tack on to a question that I saw in there earlier in regards to what's preferred degree for an entry-level position. I'll just give my opinion real quick. It really just depends on what you want to do. I think Cesar covered it earlier that he was not joking when he said that we have something for everybody. We have a legal division with lawyers. We have IT. We have state parks you've heard of. We have archaeologists. We have architects, and we even have radio and television people that work with. They do photography, and they also do our PBS show. So it depends on what you want to do. Literally you can fit into Texas parks with anything. And whatever you find that you want to do, you can get a degree. But another big thing is just being able to volunteer and kind of whatever experience you have, you can sway it a certain way if you really talk about it and think about the ways that you did something. So I'm an outdoor education specialist, and I was able to twist my photography and marketing internship into it, which with being able to say, hey, I can help tell stories visually with the photography that I'm taking, and I can transfer that to outdoor skills. So it just depends on what you want to do and how you can sway whatever you already have. Don't discredit anything that you already have, like Clarissa was saying.
Carolyn, you have something to add?
If I could just chime in, you don't have to wait until you have your degree. You can get a job with us, and we have the ability to go through a tuition assistance program to help you with some of the cost, and also provide some time in scheduling so that you can attend classes. So don't have to wait till you have that degree. If you're on your way, join us and then continue to pursue that.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, you don't need to have a degree there's so many positions out there that are very essential to what we do out here, and you're already building that experience. You're building that towards your end goal. And I think everybody has been in that position here, you know, starting as an intern and then eventually moved up to do different things within the agency. So no doubt about it. I think you hit it right on point right there, Carolyn. Clarissa, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes, touching on the degree, if that's not, you know, in your plans, there's plenty of jobs that the degrees are not required. We definitely hire a variety of skilled labor. If you prefer to do stuff like that, like in maintenance, we hire a variety of people with or without degrees. So if that's not part of your plan, there's probably still a job for you.
I'd like to add, Edwin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, going off of Clarissa, she's exactly right. I don't have my degree yet, but if you like working with your hands and you love outdoors, maintenance ranger is definitely a position I recommend. I also recommend, I'm anchored here due to the serenity and the setting of my job as well. When I'm performing my tasks and I turn around, there's a lake behind me, I know I made the right decision, so, or at least I'm on the right path.
Absolutely. I think I really love the idea, you know, when you know, I see all my extended family out there, y'all, and I see pictures of, this is my front office and it's in front of the lake, or, you know, it's in, you know, hiking the mountains, you know, that Cesar has on his background. That's actually his background right there, is his backyard. So, you know, what an amazing office and workspace to be at. So absolutely. So I think, does anybody else has, you know, anything else to add to that question? Kimberly, did we cover those two questions that they had asked?
Yeah, we did, and we've got a few more coming in. Some quick ones, and Carolyn, you might be able to help with us a little bit. Do we offer internships for high school students through CTE programs, is one of the questions.
Some of our parks do offer high school internships, and we're looking to expand that opportunity across the state. So be on the lookout for those opportunities. They work with the local schools to encourage students to participate. So yes, we do offer some high school internships and looking to expand that.
And this one is a good one for Carlos to hit on. Is outdoor education specialist different than interpreter, Carlos?
It's a bit different. We do outdoor education specialists. It's just with Texas Outdoor Family because we do teach those skills. We do interpretation, not as heavy as interpreters do, but we do incorporate interpretation into our programs with kayaking or mountain biking. But outdoor education specialists is just kind of specific to Texas Outdoor Family because we do teach the hard skills. So we hit on the hard skills. So it's teaching those skills. And it's not just the skills too. We also, out in our workshops, we like to be nature nerds. We'll talk about plants and animals and the environment, everything. We're out there.
Perfect, thank you. And I like this question also. To those who do work in the field outside, what type of risks and dangers have you faced in your job? Anyone?
I can share on that. I mean, there's a variety of things, and the really neat thing about it is, you know, no one day is the same. It's always different, and that's the really neat thing about it. You know, working in the coast, you can have individuals that you can be very impactful to their lives. You know, on rescues, on making those connections with the visitors that we have coming to Gonzales State Park, and going camping for the first time, or park interpreters taking that family for the first time out kayaking at the bay. And so, you know, there is that aspect of keeping people safe and also responding to some of these situations. But there's no doubt about it. There's always something different every day. I'm sure Cesar can relate to that up in Franklin Mountains. I'm sure everybody can relate to that.
Thank you so much, Edward. Another one, they asked, what type of public engagement do we do?
Cesar, do you want to answer that?
Yes, we do a lot of outreach. We have paused our efforts during this COVID-19, but we do a lot of outreach to local schools, to organizations. We try to keep engaging the public with social media and the website. I mean, not only at the park level, but Texas Parks and Wildlife social media platforms. They're really active. So yeah, there's a lot of different efforts going around the state to engage the public, not only to increase visitorship, but also to capture some of the potential new leaders that we need within the agency to recruit potential workers for us, potential conservation leaders for the future. So
I can attest to that, and you know, the very first time I met Carolyn was out at a outreach event at Lake Corpus Christi State Park. They have this big, huge kids fish event, and you know, everybody's so fortunate enough that work up in Austin. They were able to come out down to Lake Corpus Christi, and I'm sure Clarissa can definitely talk about that. There is a big outreach event that we really try to you know, get people interested and show them how to fish for the first time. Clarissa, do you have anything to share, or Carolyn?
Sure, I'll talk on that. I myself do a lot of outreach when I can, going to schools and scout groups and career fairs and stuff. But the one that Edwin was talking about, Kid Fish, we invite the community and the kids out to our park once a year. We service about 500 kids. They get a free fishing pole. Everybody gets free entrance for the day, and they get fed. And they work alongside with our staff and game wardens and other park rangers and volunteers. And basically it's an opportunity to learn how to fish. And, you know, we partner with our fisheries in the area, our inland fisheries. So it's just a wonderful opportunity. And we're currently working on a way to continue that during the COVID times.
So one thing about the Lake Corpus Christi event and other events that I've attended, the outreach events, is that you learn that you have generations of families who go to these events every year, and it continues to grow as their families grow. And like Kristina said, this job is life-changing, because I don't think I would have been to 85 units of our state parks if I hadn't joined Texas Parks and Wildlife and been invited to events like this across the state. So thank you for letting me say that.
See, and that kind of really circles back to, you know, every position, every opportunity out there is different, but there's no doubt about it. You know, it's all intertwined, it's all meshed together. And, you know, Carolyn or Christina or Carlos, you know, at one point or another, they've been to different areas in the state, and that's you know, that's the neat part about the job. You know, the specific event at Lake Corpus Christi, you know, the public can definitely see, you know, inland fisheries, TOF, law enforcement division, and they really get to see the different aspects of what we do with state parks and Texas Parks and Wildlife. Well, if there's no other questions, I do have another question here. You know, we're talking about education. We've talked about education and how, you know, that might have been very important to us growing up as Latinos or Latinas or Hispanics. How important was education in your family growing up? Kristina, would you mind sharing your perspective on that end? You're on mute.
Forgive me. Education was really important in our family. I was born in Monterrey. My father was born in Texas, but raised in Mexico. My mother was born in Panama and raised in Panama, but within the Republic of Panama. So they didn't speak Spanish, ironically. Language was just as important as education. So the school system that we went through in Mexico, it was half day English, half day Spanish. And both parents, because my father was fluent in Spanish and just spoke it beautifully. And here my mom, the Latina of the family, didn't speak a word of Spanish. Both of them recognized the need to have education be a priority for my brother and I, but also that language was a huge component to that. And we moved all over. We moved to Bogota in Colombia. We lived in Panama for a while. We lived in Mexico City before coming to the border in Texas. We lived in Brownsville, and so just a hand's reach away from so many of the beautiful parks in South Texas. The fact that we could communicate with such a broad spectrum of people. It also helped us in our journey as immigrants into the United States. We had and have had a level of confidence because of education and because of language. And it has helped us become stewards for both of those things within our lifetime. It's always this willingness to put out a hand for someone who either has a need or a question. It's amazing how powerful a tool both of those things have. And so that's just my personal experience.
Yeah, I think you have it right there on cue. Great response. You know, I'm sure everybody in the panel can relate to it. I know I can. You know, growing up, that was the number one thing as a first generation Mexican American. You know, my parents worked really hard to provide a good education for us, and you know, they really instilled that you know, work ethic, hard work, take pride on what you do, and
Yes.
no doubt about it. I guess that really leads up to the next question. You know, Cesar,
Edwin,
how do you define success? You know, for everybody out there listening.
Oh, wow. I mean, success, I guess, is very subjective, because success for you might be different than success for me. But how do I define it? I define it by fulfilling your purpose in life. And how do you get to your purpose in life? I think your purpose, you have to have a deep knowledge and clear knowledge of who you are, and know what your talents are, know what you love doing, know what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. And when you combine those things, I mean, your talents and what you can pay for becomes your profession. What the world needs and what you can get paid for becomes your vocation. What you like or what you love doing and what talents you have becomes your passion. And what you love and what the world needs becomes your mission. But once you have those identified and you fulfill those, you're fulfilling your purpose in life. And that's how I would define success is fulfilling your purpose in life. And my job and my family are my purpose, and I'm fulfilling it every day. So I consider myself being successful.
Awesome. I think that's a great response, Cesar. Yeah, it's a very unique response. That can be very different for everybody, and I think you really defined it really well. You know, one of the things for me, and which I might have already hinted to, that is some of the simple joys that I have to get to work and come out here is really connecting with the people and connecting them to the resource. And I've done that in the past a bunch of times, but the ones that I really like is, you know, connecting the young and inquisitive minds and talking to them in Spanish. And, you know, it's the first time that they come out to a state park or to a wildlife management area, or just simply fishing out at the coast. You know, I'll talk to them a lot, and I try to retain that language because that's my native tongue. But how often you speak Spanish at the park? You know, I want to direct this question to Alexis.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, working at Lake Casablanca, I can spend my whole day speaking only Spanish. So, and I've spent days doing that. This being due to Laredo's Hispanic population being 95% and being just 15 minutes away from the border. So it's very, very important, and it's very important for safety, and it's also very important for connecting with our visitors. So very, very important.
Awesome.
Edwin, we have a couple more questions. First one's for Clarissa. Can you please speak to your experience becoming a police officer? Did you start in the park service or transition into it?
Okay. So my experience becoming a police officer, I do have a degree in criminology from St. Mary's University. And after that, I went to a seasonal academy for the National Park Service, and that training did not necessarily translate over to the state parks. It definitely gave me a lot of good experience and skills. So I applied for the park police job at Mustang Island, and they sent the agency sent me to all the training and paid me to go through it as well. The degree is required. But after that, all the training the department takes care of. Nowadays, the State Park Police Officer Academy is blended with the Game Warden Academy, so they receive the same training. They're in Hamilton, right in Central Texas there. So they come out of it fully trained up in policing and all the fish and game laws. And then, of course, a lot of on-the-job training with a field training officer and just learning on the job.
Thank you so much. So I know we're coming to the end of our time, but we have two final questions I want to wrap up with, and it can be anywhere across the panel. One question from the audience was, how do you celebrate your rich heritage in your job? So I know we've hit on that a little bit, but if anyone wants to expand on that. And the last one, and not to put any pressure on anyone, but this is from our state park director. He has asked us to share interest in what excites you about the future of state parks and your work specifically, what's on the horizon, or things that someone could look forward to if they came and worked with us.
Carlos, did you want to answer the, I saw you raise the hand, or maybe not. Clarissa or Christina, go ahead.
As far as the question of what we're looking forward to in the future, as designers, we have a suite of nature centers that we are going to be designing with exhibits. And that's so exciting. And we also do bilingual work. So a lot of the parks need signage that is bilingual. Just to have that kind of interpretation available in a native language is so important. But we're really pumped about the nature centers. We're excited to keep providing like really interesting and thoughtful ways to engage with the public through design. It's so important to enhance everyone's experience within our park system, and we're really, yeah, it's just it's exciting to come up with new concepts and new ideas to doing that.
Awesome, thanks, Christina. Cesar.
The last question from the boss, I take it. I think, I mean, challenges are continue to expand. I mean, we're always going to be challenged. I mean, I think believing in the mission of Texas Parks and Wildlife, which is to manage and conserve the natural and cultural resources of Texas and provide fishing, hunting, and outdoor education opportunities for the present and the future generations. So it means like our mission, we have to carry on in perpetuity. So we need people to continue with our mission. We're approaching to the centennial celebration in 3 years. We're going to be celebrating 100 years of parks in Texas. So Texas Parks and Wildlife is making this big celebration. State parks are making this big celebration. So there's a lot of opportunities to be part of this celebration, to be part of the changes that are coming. Texas demographics are changing. We have to adapt to so many things. Texas is becoming very diverse. We need to adapt to those changes too. So we need to be very inviting to everybody. And it's very exciting to be part of this. And the challenges are gonna continue to grow. I mean, right now, we were preparing for the 100 celebration 2 years ago, and then in year 2, year 3, we're hitting a pandemia that it just shook everybody, and then we have to readapt. So there's always something going on. But challenges make you feel alive, make you feel purposeful, makes you feel useful, and working for these agencies is one of the greatest things that you can do.
Awesome. Kristina?
I'd love to touch on something that Cesar had said. TPWD is a legacy. And like Clarissa had mentioned, her abuelito was part of the CCC. This is a legacy, and you get to do this for generations. And what an honor that is.
Absolutely. Carlos?
Yes, I just wanted to touch on both questions that were talked about earlier. I'll start with the question about what excites me. What excites me about the future is how, as an agency, if you work with Texas Parks, if you volunteer with us, you know that as an agency, we're very invested in the people that work with us, very invested in our employees. So I love how, like Christina was mentioning, we're expanding our signage to include Spanish and include different languages. That excites me. It also excites me that with Texas Outdoor Family, we camp with different families, and you see our campers, our park visitors, our numbers are growing more diverse. And anybody watching this, you can join us on a Texas Outdoor Family workshop. We do offer public workshops to check us out, but it's the diversity is just spreading. And I love the diversity and the acknowledgement of it. Just a few months ago, there was a feature on Texas Parks about women in state parks, which we have some amazing women working in state parks, and just that celebration of the diversity with us. And another question that was asked: how do we celebrate our heritage while on the job? Anything from big to small. We're out at workshops. When I'm out in the park, sometimes we'll speak Spanish to people. It's more comfortable for them to ask a question that way. Just doing that, even the smallest things, just relating to other people of our same culture, recalling the smallest things. Just a week and a half ago, my supervisor and I were talking about how we used to play with tassels as a kid. If you've played with tassels, you know what I'm talking about. So it's just recalling those things and celebrating that in the smallest ways possible.
Clarissa, go ahead.
I just have something to add about celebrating our culture here at work. I'm Catholic, as a lot of Latinos are, and so Easter is a huge celebration down here in South Texas. So every year, except for the Corona year, but every year Easter is a huge celebration here at our park, and that's probably our busiest day here. And so many members of the public come out, and so here at our park, everybody works that day. We have the entire staff on board, and we try to make a little celebration out of it as well, bringing food and such. And because I work close to my hometown, my family, and I have, of course, tons of extended family, a lot of them come out here for the day also. So I get to kind of hang out with the family, and they do the barbecue and get to eat with them and visit with them, but yet still be at work. So another great perk of the job. Get to bring my family out here as well.
Well, couple great things. Ronnie said thank you for all that you do. It's awesome. We also just had a really wonderful comment, and I just scroll back down to it, sorry. She said, I want to jump in my car and hug each of you for being the awesome representation of your job, culture in the state of Texas and its rich Hispanic heritage. Congratulations. Thank you all to the panelists, and thank you to Edwin as the moderator today for having this idea, helping put together this amazing panel, and yes, sharing the heritage of Hispanic heritage across Texas within our agency, and how that plays a role in everything that we do with Texas State Parks. So with that, I think we're about at the end, Edwin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to thank all the panelists for joining us today, and everybody out there that logged in and watched this roundtable discussion. But I think that pretty much wraps up our roundtable. Kristina, you have something?
I would love to encourage, thank you for coming, and I would love to encourage you, always proceed with pride and passion in your Latino and Hispanic heritage. That will take you so far in this world, and we need it very much.
Absolutely. Kim, I believe we do we have any other questions before we wrap this thing?
I think we're good. Appreciate it. If you'll have any questions, you can always go to our website, look at our job pages to get information, reach out to anyone on the website. All of our emails are our first name dot our last name at tpwd.texas.gov. So if you need to reach one of us, you can reach out to any of the rangers on here. Or if you look at the website and go to a specific park, you can call one of these rangers at the park. So thank you all for all that you do to preserve our natural and cultural resources and to really make Texas state parks the most welcoming place for all that we can. So with that, we're going to end the panel, and everyone have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you. Y'all be safe. Bye-bye.